Mr. Chair, this is more of a statement than it is a question. I just want to set the record straight. This isn't a question about morality. This is not a question about whether you're for or against incorporation. What we've done in the Osceola delegation is something I take very serious. And yes, you did vote me in to be your representative in parts of Poinciana.
Yes, sir.
And again, I take that job very serious. I take that job very passionately. My job, like I've said in the past, and I will continue to state, is that you've sent me there to go do a job. Mm-hmm. I've gone to Tallahassee, and I'm doing that job. And if I feel that it's necessary and it's feasible to take this forward, at that point we'll bring this to the people. But if it's not, then I've failed to do my job if I just simply allow the residents of Poinciana to vote. So, as stated before, the Department of Economic Opportunity, the Department of Revenue, the Department of Community Development is currently studying the feasibility study. And at that point, when their report, I was elected into office to serve the people. Mm-hmm. And to answer your question, I'm doing what the people have sent me there to do, which is to do my job, which is to review what they've put in front of me, and to ultimately make a decision from there whether we need to proceed forward, whether we need to make comments, and how do we create ultimately a better community. I believe I'm doing what the people have sent me to do.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Representative Combee has a question.
Not a question, really a statement. And somebody said we were in Osceola for 2 hours on this subject alone, and that seems to me like it was 4, but maybe it was only 2. But it was a long time that we talked about this, and I had a lot to say there. And I say this, and with all due respect to everybody here, I don't represent Poinciana, and in that sense, I really don't and shouldn't or couldn't care less as to whether Poinciana is incorporated or not. But the reality is, I think that people need to make this decision with their eyes wide open.
I agree.
They need to make it with good information. The reason these requirements are in the legislation or in the statute regarding feasibility studies is because it's important that people know what they're voting on, and that the feasibility study be true, correct, done properly. And I do not believe that what we have currently is a valid feasibility study. Mike LaRosa, no more than Neil Combee or Seth McKeel or Kelly Stargell can go up and authorize a feasibility study. It requires at least a majority of the legislature to approve that kind of an expenditure. And Beverly Sanders was up here earlier, and she was really speaking a lot of truth. To get it done properly is going to be expensive. It's comprehensive, the information that's required to let people know what they're up against. Because there's an old saying, we've all heard it, be careful what you wish for. Mm-hmm. You may get it. And so my concern is, and this is what I believe, again, because I don't live there, I don't represent the district, I want the best for the people of Poinciana, whatever that may be. But I'm just convinced that whatever, if it goes forward, the one thing that I feel certain about is it will cost the people of Poinciana more to live there. I don't see it getting any cheaper. Now, everybody can say, well, the APVs, they're paying themselves. Well, we're going to pay somebody to do this stuff. It's not done by volunteers. And the people in this county, a majority, an overwhelming majority, unless something's changed, in Polk County, their local government is the Polk County Commission. That's who makes local decisions for them. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more people that live in the unincorporated area and vote for their local government than reside in the cities. The number at one time was like 250 to 450 or something like that. So the much greater number was in unincorporated Polk County, and a percentage of those live in the Poinciana area. But the county commission is our local government, and there's not a lot of them clamoring. And I understand, that Poinciana has felt like they've been left out and overlooked for a lot of years. And I know there's some commissioners who I served with, and some that came after me, I think, who've done a good job trying to bring attention and some resources to the Poinciana area, and I certainly respect them for their effort there. But Mike can't go do this. He can get staff up there to look at what's been submitted, but as far as doing a legitimate, comprehensive, valid feasibility study, it's going to take a vote of the legislature, a majority vote, to approve that kind of an expenditure. And I don't know what it would actually cost to do it, but it wouldn't be insignificant, as Ms. Sanders said, to get that done. And obviously that would take going through this next session to accomplish that. But I know staff can look at it, but I think that to the extent they can look at it, they can say there's a lot of gaps or a lot of unanswered questions here, and we wouldn't recommend that you go forward with it. Or they may say, you know, there's enough information here, put it out on the ballot and see what happens. But I'm worried about the folks that may not have complete information and say, you know, why did you let this happen to us 5 years from now if we do not have good information, accurate information for those people to make a decision on? Because we're talking about, you know, their ability to pay their taxes, to, you know, live in that community and you know, not only meet their family's needs, but to meet the local government's needs. The local government doesn't exist right now because obviously their local government's county commission. So in defense of everybody here, we can't go do one without, you know, approval. And we can look at what's been submitted, or the staff can, but as far as us saying, okay, we'll do a good feasibility study, we'll get the information, and we'll then let people make a decision. We're not at that point yet.
Okay. Representative Wood, you recognize, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I would like to follow up with Representative Combee's comments that I, as a member of the legislature, even though I do not represent the particular areas that are being requested to be incorporated, the Florida legislature has a very sincere interest in making sure that all municipalities in our state are successful. And if the feasibility study does not support the success of that municipality, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that it does not go forward. Now, we have examples of failed municipalities in both this state and other states. One of the biggest ones in the country right now is the city of Detroit, where, you know, because of economic circumstances, a once great city is no longer a great city. So it's not just, as Representative LaRosa said and as Representative Combee has eloquently put out there, this is not just a question of give us the right to vote. This is a question of, is it in the best interest of the residents of Poinciana, and more importantly, in all of the citizens of the state of Florida? Because when we have a failed municipality, guess who ends up picking up the pieces? All of the citizens of the state of Florida. So we have a very strong interest in making sure this is done correctly, and that's why we have a very comprehensive statute. I would recommend that you go back, comply with that statute before we go forward. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, further comments?